Hello. So the video today is Lavinia themed, or Lavinia products themed. I've got my Elements inks out. I've got some Lavinia Stamps out, and I've got Creative Expression sample die set out, the Shabby Basics Vintage slide. Obviously Creative Expressions are no longer manufacturing or no longer selling. It might be available on a few retailers or eBay or something, but it was very popular, so I'd be surprised if it's available. But that said, there are videos out there how to make some kind of specimen slide or vintage slide, so it's not impossible to do it without and there are other dies available. I think Arden Creative do one, although it's quite a bit smaller than this one. I have got it, but it is a bit smaller, so it wasn't quite suitable for what I wanted to do. So what I did was, on the back of another video I did, which was around using a digital kit with film negatives printed on vinyl, transparent vinyl stickers, sheets, is that I thought I would do something similar with the slide. So I could have cut it out so that also cut the back out, but I haven't done that on this occasion. But I may do it. If I make any more. So I thought, rather than this, featured, I think it's Dana, from a fairly recent set, and some of the floral stamps, lavender or something, and some leaves and background stamping. But the one I'm going to make for the video is going to feature Bumble or Hum, probably whichever one this one is, and that's LAV892, and the Meadow Blossom LAV846. So these. So that's what I thought I would do today, or for this video. So yeah, so that's where we're going with it, and see where it turns out. Right, so I've already cut the slide, wrong way around, and I've got a bit hard to show you, but I've got a little bit of acetate there, and I'm going to back that onto the sticker. So let's move some of this stuff out of the way, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my bit of acetate, I've got my sticker, which I will link to the digital kit in the video description. It's from sevenplaza, who is actually more of a junk journaler and doesn't do card making at all, or not that her videos show her doing anyway. But I just wanted to combine some of my stamp making with this kit. So I'm just going to, for now, let me just see, I'm going to just stick that back on, I think, so that I can easily cut it to size, or more easily cut it to size. I can just feel through there. Yeah. Just about see where I've put that, but that's the bit of acetate was quite narrow. It fits over the hole, but that'll be plenty, or more than plenty actually. Might need to take a bit more off. Take some of this off. Right. Okay. Hopefully that's the right size. Now, the aperture hole, if you keep the bit that comes out of it, then you can use that to cover up the acetate if you glue the slide together. Oops, didn't quite get that right. If you glue the slide together, you can use that to cover up the acetate so that you don't stamp on it when you're stamping on the outside, like that. So I don't want to throw that away yet, but I might decorate this before. What did I just do with that? I might decorate this before I put that on. It might be a little bit easier. So what I did, or what I'm going to use, is a little bit of Elements Pine. Yep, shall I use that or shall I use Lime Punch? Let's use Lime Punch first. Just slightly changing what I did from the original. So, and I'm just gonna ink around and just create a bit of colour on the slide. Let's move those out of the way a bit. Give myself some room. Some colour on the slide before we do the stamping. Then bring in Della Blue. And then just gently blend. I don't need a particularly fantastic blend, so that's fine. Then I'm going to, I'll come back to the inks a little bit later. For now I'm just going to start doing the stamping. Let me just wipe up that ink. Oops. Okay, and then I think next we'll stamp Bumble or Hum first, so that it's a bit big actually. I think I might use the other one. I wanted it to be that way facing, but it's a little bit too big, so we'll go with the other one, and we'll do that first. Right, I'm using Vesfine Clear Pine Cone as I want more of a browny tone to match. Oh, I tell you what I did do to help myself. Let me just make sure that's, is just make a little mark in the corners so that I know when I'm stamping where I need it to go. So we're going to stamp this one just there, like that, and then we're going to come in with, what's it, the Meadow Blossom, yep, and do you want the smaller one or the larger one? No, I think we'll go with the larger one. And again, I'm going to use Pine Cone. Right, just come in like that, and maybe a little bit of double stamping, second generation stamping. Yep. And I might even just put in a little bit just there, and just there. There we go. Right, that's the inside stamping done, and now we're going to do some on the outside. I'll just get a piece of card. That. Okay, and then we're going to bring the inside out, like that. And I'll bring in some, what have we got here? The Florist set. And I've just used that. And just fill in and some second generation stamping there with that one, and then I'll bring in another one, or the other one from that same set, and and do that. So that's that one, and then I think just to, what I could do with the other bumble, are they bumble hums? Perhaps we'll just have those making an appearance on the back. Oh, do. No. Okay. In the corner there. Okay. So then might just do one that one. Make sure they're cleaned off. And then just okay, a bit smudged, but that's fine. Right, then I'm just going to, I've got some mica, in a water pen here, and I'm just going to bring that out and just colour in the, probably won't see it through the acetate. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. It's fine. In fact, let's make the most of that. Happy accidents and all that. Okay. Okay, so just let that dry for a second. Oh, excuse me. Right, so here's a piece of paper. Okay, right, so now we need to stick the acetate on the inside. And what we could do, I think, if I put some, just to be sure, make sure that double-sided tape goes along there. But doesn't go over the edge. That. Okay, and maybe also along here. Right, so I can then get all these off. Make sure they're well burnished down. That makes them easier to peel off, she says. Right, and then of course can't get this off. I think I know what I've done. Right, I've stuck that piece of acetate the wrong way, so I will get another piece of acetate and I will be back. Okay, so I know what I did. I stuck the back of the sticker, transparent sticker, on the wrong way round, so it wasn't on this, on the smooth side, the non-stick side. So anyway, I've got another piece. I've used another of the pieces from the digital kit, so this time hopefully I can place that. Let me turn that around, see if that's better. Yeah, I can place that over there. Might just need to see if I can cut that piece off like that. Okay, and then when we close that up, you can see we've got the vintage sort of sepia. It's not as there are some more vintage coloured slides in there, so it's not quite as dark as it could be, but you can actually see the shine of the mica through it, so I'm quite happy with that. And what I will just do, I've also got, as well as the gold one, I've got a clear mica. So I'm just going to put that over the wings and let that dry for a second before I stick that together. Okay, let's clear that, finish stamping. And then, right, we just need some, yeah, so to glue this, now I know this glue will do it, but if you do it yourself, you need to make sure you have a glue that will stick on acetate, or make sure that you've got some card around the edge, so you don't have to glue on the acetate. Right, so that should be fine, and I'm just going to close that down, making sure it meets properly, and then seal that. Okay, Right, and then the last thing I'm going to do is take a little bit of dark denim and just ink around the edges on the front and back. Okay, and a little bit of pine, sorry, a little bit of pine and ink around the bottom edges. Okay, and that is my little slide, so which I think is quite cute. And obviously you could stamp it with any of the, you only really need to use the mini stamps I've got lined up. I am going to see if I can use some of the Flutterby mini and Snail mini, Christopher mini and the mini Flutter, and maybe some from the Fairy Bugs set, so and see how they look. So yeah, so I think they look quite cute, and of course I'll vary the colours probably as well, but that's, I could have grounded Dana on that one, which I didn't do, but that's fine. But yeah, looking forward to making some more of those, and thank you for watching, and see you again soon. Bye.